Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be part 1 in the makeup do's and don'ts series, foundation and concealer do's and don'ts. So I realized that there are a lot of these series out there on YouTube, but I wanted to do something that was a little bit more personal to me, you know. I wanted to show a side-by-side of all the makeup mistakes that I've made and then what I've learned from them, and also what I see other people doing that I think is wrong and how I would like them to do it instead. That being said, makeup is an incredibly subjective thing. So if you do your makeup a certain way and you love it and you think it looks good, by all means do it. And yeah, let's get started with this video. Okay guys, so this side is going to be the do's and then this side is going to be the don'ts. So first what you're going to want to do is obviously you're going to want to start with prepping your skin. Before the makeup application, you have to wash your face and then you have to moisturize it as well. So there we go. However, on this side, I'm not going to apply a cream, a serum, anything moisturizing or hydrating underneath. I'm just going to go straight into foundation on this side. So now that you have applied your spray, your cream, your serum, whatever it is, you're going to want to let that absorb into your skin. So let it sit anywhere in between 2 to 5 minutes, when you feel like it has absorbed into your skin, and then you want to move on to the next step, which is going to be primer. Now, I don't think primer is necessary. I skip primer most of the time. However, if you do want to use a primer, you are going to want to use one specifically for your skin type. If you have oily skin, you're going to want to use a mattifying primer. If you have dry skin, you're going to want to use a hydrating primer. If you have combo, you're going to want to apply a mattifying primer in the T-zone and then a hydrating one on the perimeters of your face. And if you have pores like I do, then you're going to want to apply a very dimethicone pore filling primer like this one by L'Oreal. So a primer do is you want to use a very small amount of primer only where it is needed. Like for example, this pore filling primer, I'm going to only apply a very tiny amount to the areas that I have pores on, and the rest I'm just going to wipe off on my hands, and I'm going to tap and push this into my skin. Again, only on the areas where there are pores. If you apply this where you don't need it, it can give you like a heavy, cakey finish, which you don't want. You want to use as less of products everywhere as you can. And now on the don't side, I'm going to take a huge amount of primer. That's a lot for one side. And then I'm going to apply this all over my face. Here, 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 everywhere. I'm just going to rub this in like a moisturizer. The next step is going to be foundation. So when it comes to foundation do's and don'ts, the first thing that you want to get right is the shade. A do for choosing the right shade of foundation is taking the foundation all the way from your jawline to your neck. Now you have to remember that the goal is not to match the neck, no. The goal is to find a foundation that when you blend it, it matches this area, and then it also blends seamlessly into this area. You don't have to match the neck, but it needs to blend seamlessly into the neck. So I'm going to take this foundation. This is the Maybelline Fit Me 220, like so. Now you see this looks a little bit yellow, but once I blend this out, this is going to match seamlessly to my face and jaw. And then now on the neck, and as you can see, this is a perfect match because this is similar to my face. It's not giving a gray tone to my face, and it is blending seamlessly into my neck. It looks very natural even in the neck area. And then a don't when choosing your shade of foundation is to match this area. So you don't want a foundation that matches this area because this area of your face is naturally lighter than the rest of your face. Also, you don't want a foundation that matches your arm because your arms are naturally a little bit tanner than your face, and that is not going to give you your perfect match. I'm going to take a foundation that goes with this area, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on the rest of the face. Let me just pull my double chin up. So it looks really nice and pretty in the moment, but once I blend this out, you guys are going to see what I mean. So this is the foundation with the do shade, and this is the foundation with the don't shade. Now, as I'm looking on the monitor, this looks like a pretty good match, as does this. But as you can see here, this is not blending seamlessly into my neck. Also, this is looking a little bit ashy gray and a little too white on me in real life. This, however, looks a lot like my actual skin, and some of you might think that this is a good match, but you know, just wait till I'm done applying the foundation everywhere and you guys will know what I'm talking about. So you know, have a little bit of patience. Now, moving on to the application. When it comes to applying foundation, there are 3 do's that you absolutely have to do. The first one is that you have to blend your foundation to your ears and also down your neck or your jaw at least. And then the second one is that you have to start blending from the center of your face, because this is where the most discoloration lives and you want to target this area, and the rest of it you can blend out. And last but definitely not the least, you have to remember that you have to pat or tap your foundation in, no matter what tool you're using, whether it's a sponge, it's a brush, or your fingers. Make sure that you're tapping and not really rubbing the foundation in, because tapping it in is going to give it more coverage, but a more skin-like finish, because it's going to push the foundation into your skin. I'm starting from the center of my face, and I'm just going to blend this in, and I'm pushing this in, I'm not rubbing it in. So I started from the center of my face, and now I'm seeing where I need foundation more, and I'm just applying to those areas. Applying from the center of your face is one thing that you can break, is one rule that you can break, but you know, I find that this one rule works for me. But I've seen a lot of people like do the opposite, and that seems to work fine for them. And like I said, if it works fine for you, that's all that matters. And then we're going to blend this to the ears, you know, just so everything looks nice and seamless. And then we're also going to take this down the neck. So moving on to the don't side, we're going to use the wrong shade of foundation. And then we're just going to apply it from this area. I'm just going to, first of all, rub the foundation into my skin. Second of all, I'm not starting from the center of the face. And thirdly, I am not going to blend this to the, what's the word for that? The ears and the neck, basically, is what I'm saying. Oh, my poor eye. Yikes. Okay guys, so now I have finished out both these sides. I can definitely, you know, see a little bit of like streaks and a little bit of just foundation sitting on top of my skin and not really being pushed into my skin, whereas on this side I can see that it's a very skin-like, seamlessly blended foundation application, and it actually looks like my skin because I have also applied it here and here. Hopefully now you guys can see what I meant by when I said that the foundation shade is going to look better on this side, because this looks so much like my skin. This literally looks like my skin, whereas this side looks a little too white and ashy on me. So around this area and this area and this area, it's looking a little too ashy. And we're going to move on to the concealer do's and don'ts. So when it comes to your concealer, the first thing that you do want to do is picking the right shade. Now, to be very, very honest, every girl needs 2 shades of concealer. The first one is going to be a concealer shade that matches your skin tone so that you can, you know, conceal with it and everything. And the next shade is going to be a shade 2 shades lighter than your skin tone so that you can highlight with it. Now, if you don't have the budget to buy 2 concealers, what I suggest you do is that if you have flawless skin, if you don't have acne or blemishes or anything, go for the highlighting shade because, you know, you don't need to cover anything up, so might as well highlight. But if you're a girl with like blemishes and pimples and dark circles and everything, I seriously suggest that you go for the concealer that matches, wait, what? Which one is it? I seriously suggest that you go for the concealer that matches your skin tone, because the truth is that this can work both ways. You can cover your, blemishes and pimples with this concealer, but also once you apply it on your dark circles and then you bake, you can actually lighten the color of the concealer a little bit by baking it, and so this can work both ways. And then a concealer don't is to conceal your acne, pimples, blemishes with a concealer that is 2 shades lighter than your skin tone, basically a concealer that is meant for highlighting. Because what that is going to do is that it's going to further bring these imperfections forward, and it's going to make them more prominent, and you really don't want that. So another concealer do is to take a tiny bit of concealer and apply it only where you need it. Now, moving on to this side, I'm going to use the concealer lighter than my skin tone, and I'm going to conceal with this. I'm also going to use this a lot more than I actually need to. Like, I'm going to take, big goopy amounts of this. And then I'm going to rub this into my skin, and what that is going to do is that is going to take the foundation off from underneath as well. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to rub your foundation, you don't want to rub your concealer again. And you see how I used a lot of it? Like, I did not need that much concealer on for that spot, but I've used a lot of it, and you don't want to do that. You only want to use tiny amount where you need it. What that is going to do is that is going to just put the concealer everywhere on your face, and you don't want that because the concealer is a very heavy product and it's going to cake up your face, and you only want to use it where you need it. The next thing that I want to do is I want to highlight with my face. Now, what makeup do is to make sure that the highlighting side is only 2 shades lighter than your skin tone, and this concealer is a little bit too light for me, so I'm going to mix that in with my natural skin tone concealer, just so this is the perfect highlighting shade for me. And I'm applying this in, as you can see, a triangular shape, like so. Whereas on the makeup don't side, I'm going to apply a shade in a circular moon-shaped kind of like area, and then I'm also just using the shade that is meant for highlighting, which should be fine, but this actually is a little too light on me. And let me just blend this out and I will show you guys what I mean. And I'm also patting it in and not really rubbing it in. Now on this side, I'm going to blend the concealer by rubbing it, and then also you guys will see hopefully what I mean when I say that this concealer is a little too light for me. And I'm only blending this in the crescent shape or the moon shaped half circle that we applied this in. And then moving on to the last makeup do when it comes to your foundation and concealer is you want to set your face. It is so confusing to me. Like, there's so many videos, everyone's talking about the importance of setting your face, but I've seen so many few people do it. And you know, that really does make a difference, because at the end of the day, if you do set your face, what that is going to do is that any product that you apply on top, the powder contour, any powder blush, powder highlight, it's going to blend so much more seamlessly if you set your face. And then also your makeup is going to last longer. And then obviously the makeup don't is not setting your face. I'm going to take this powder, and then with a small fluffy brush, I'm going to apply the powder to the areas that I have concealed, because they need a little bit more powder than the other areas. And then with a big fluffy brush, I'm going to tap the powder all over my face where I have applied foundation. And then for this side, I am not going to set my face. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the rest of my makeup. I'm going to do everything else exactly the same on both the sides, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys what a difference there is in both of these sides. So look who's back! So I have finished off the rest of my face. I have applied the exact same products with the exact same techniques on both these sides, and the eyes look obviously pretty similar. But as you can see, the blush, the contour, the bronzer on this side looks so seamless and blended, whereas on this side, the contour especially is, not the contour, but the bronzer especially is a little bit too patchy. The highlight looks pretty normal on both sides. It's a little too harsh on this side, I think, but that could just be me. Whereas the blush is a little bit more blended on this side. That's what I find. The foundation on this side looks a lot more blended, whereas the foundation on this side looks like it's sitting on top of my skin, as well as the color is a little bit off. Like, I just prefer the color on this side better. It goes with the rest of my body a lot more better. Whereas this just is like, it's like standing out from the rest of my body. Like, this does not look like the face from the same body, if you know what I mean. So yeah, this is the do side and this is the don't side. Also, if I did something on the don't side that you personally like to do in your makeup routine, do not take it personally. This is my opinion, and this is how I think the perfect makeup should be or should not be done. So yeah, don't take offense to that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.